Breaking news! There's a storm brewing in Baltimore, and no, it's not just about who's lining up under center. It's something that has fans buzzing, a revelation straight from QB1 himself, and it could reshape the entire Ravens secondary. But before we move on, make sure you hit that like button if you're a true Ravens fan. It's always amazing to see fans of all ages supporting this team. And if you feel like it, comment, "Go Ravens," so we know you're locked in with us. Now, let's dive into what's sending shockwaves through the Ravens flock. On the first day of mandatory minicamp, Lamar Jackson didn't just show up ready to lead. He dropped a bombshell that could redefine the Ravens' defense. In a candid post-practice moment, Lamar spoke about his ongoing conversations with his former Louisville teammate, cornerback Jaire Alexander, who was recently released and is now a hot topic in NFL free agency. Lamar didn't mince words. "I love all our corners, but go get him, Eric." Yes, he's talking directly to GM Eric DeCosta, putting it out there publicly. He wants his guy in Baltimore. This isn't just locker room chatter. This is strategic, vocal leadership from a franchise quarterback using his voice to influence the front office. Lamar is not just leading with his play anymore. He's putting his weight into roster moves, acting like the heartbeat of the team both on and off the field. And it's not the first time. Back in August, he tweeted for Alexander to slide to the Ravens. That persistence is noteworthy. What makes this even more impactful is the backdrop. The cornerback room in Baltimore is solid but not elite. With Marlon Humphrey returning from injury and younger pieces still finding their footing, adding a proven playmaker like Alexander, even with his injury history, would be a serious upgrade. A healthy Jaire is a shutdown corner, plain and simple. He would instantly elevate the Ravens secondary into one of the most feared in the league. But here's where it gets complicated, and why this story is so juicy. Availability. Jaire has played only 4 games in 2021 and missed 10 games each of the past 2 seasons. That's the baggage. That's the risk. And it's why he's not a Green Bay Packer anymore. Still, those injury concerns could also mean one thing: a lower price tag. In a league where top corners command massive deals, the Ravens could potentially snag Alexander at a discounted rate, especially if his market dries up. It's a gamble, but the potential reward is massive, and Lamar's recruiting pitch might be the edge Baltimore needs. We've seen this kind of quarterback-driven recruitment before. Josh Allen courted Von Miller into Buffalo over a casual round of golf. Aaron Rodgers practically rebuilt his old Green Bay arsenal in New York by recruiting Allen Lazard, Randall Cobb, and even offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett. So why not Lamar? He's earned that voice. He's earned that influence. And the front office knows keeping their MVP quarterback happy is good business. Head coach John Harbaugh added more fuel to the speculation fire just days after Alexander hit the waiver wire, saying, "We turn over every stone." You're always interested in anything you see on the waiver wire. That's a telling comment. Even if he didn't name names, it shows the organization is open to bolstering the roster, especially in an area that could use depth and top-tier talent. Let's also talk about timing. With minicamp rolling and training camp not far behind, this is the moment where front offices finalize the tweaks. Lamar's plea couldn't come at a more strategic point in the offseason. He's sending a clear message: let's win now. Let's go all in. And don't underestimate Lamar's emotional pull. This isn't just about talent. It's about trust, chemistry, brotherhood. Lamar and Jaire have history, shared battles, a bond forged in college competition. That kind of connection doesn't show up on a stat sheet, but it shows up in how teams play on Sunday. So Ravens fans, here's the question that now looms large across the fan base and front office alike. Will Baltimore go for it? Will they bring in Jaire Alexander to form what could be one of the most dynamic cornerback duos in the AFC? What do you think? Is this a smart gamble, or a risk not worth taking given the injuries? Let's pick up right where we left off. Because now it's not just about if the Ravens can sign Jaire Alexander, it's about how they might make it happen, and whether the front office is truly prepared to act on Lamar's push. First, we've got to look at the cap situation. Baltimore's front office isn't reckless, they play the long game. But they've also shown a willingness to move pieces around when it counts. If they believe Jaire can stay healthy, a short-term, incentive-laden deal might be the perfect middle ground. Something that gives Jaire a chance to prove his value and the Ravens a high upside talent without long-term financial risk. Think of it as a prove-it deal. It's not uncommon, especially for veterans with a bit of injury history but high-level talent. If Baltimore can structure it creatively, say, with a low base salary but performance bonuses based on games played or snaps, this becomes a win-win situation. And remember, the Ravens have a history of making smart, late off-season additions that pay dividends. Just look back at how they've added veteran talent when needed, even after training camp. This wouldn't be out of character for them. But here's where the story takes another turn. Lamar Jackson isn't just passively hoping Jaire signs. He's actively shaping the narrative. His comments weren't a throwaway line, they were strategic. Lamar made it a public appeal, putting just enough pressure on DaCosta to let everyone know, this matters to me. That's a leadership move. It signals to the rest of the locker room that Lamar is thinking about how to make the team better as a whole, not just his side of the ball. And that leads us into the cultural importance of this potential move. Bringing in Jair Alexander would signal something far beyond stats. It would reinforce a culture where the players' voices matter, where relationships are valued, and where leadership is rewarded with real impact. That's something young players see. That's something free agents notice. It builds trust in the front office's vision. But the Ravens aren't operating in a vacuum. Other teams are watching too. If Jair's market stays quiet, Baltimore might be in a position to strike. But if a corner-needy team suddenly gets desperate, think a preseason injury or a team that realizes they're a piece away, Alexander's price could spike. That's why timing is everything here. If the Ravens wait too long, they could lose out. If they jump too soon, they risk overpaying. It's a tightrope walk. Now, let's talk about fit. Because a healthy Jair Alexander and Mike McDonald's defensive system, that could be dangerous in the best way possible. Baltimore already thrives on versatility, disguising coverages, mixing in man and zone. Jair's ability to play tight coverage, bait quarterbacks, and explode on the ball fits perfectly into what this defense wants to do. Pairing him with Marlon Humphrey could bring back memories of the days when the Ravens secondary struck fear into opposing offenses week after week. But let's not pretend this decision is risk-free. The injuries are real. He's missed 24 games over the last 3 seasons. That's nearly a season and a half of football. The physicality of his play style, while effective, takes a toll. And Baltimore's medical staff would need to do their due diligence. Any signing would hinge on the confidence they have in his long-term health. It's the one factor that no amount of recruiting or teammate bonding can fix. Yet this is where things come full circle, back to Lamar Jackson. His leadership, his growth, and his presence as the face of the franchise. When Lamar speaks, people listen. When he makes a push for a guy like Jair Alexander, it's not just talk. It's a sign of how invested he is in bringing a championship to Baltimore. He's not just trying to win the MVP again. He's trying to build a legacy, one that includes Lombardi trophies, not just highlight reels. So now we ask again, what should Eric DaCosta do? Should the Ravens listen to their MVP quarterback and make a bold move for a proven cornerback who, if healthy, could be a game changer? Or should they play it safe, protect the cap, and bet on the guys already in-house? We want to hear from you. Drop your take in the comments. Should Jair Alexander be a Raven? And while you're at it, hit that like button if you haven't already. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We've got more exclusive Ravens updates and analysis coming your way. Click the video on screen to keep diving into all things Ravens football. Let's go get it, Baltimore. This is more than just football. This is Baltimore. This is the Ravens. We're a family. A community forged through decades of grit, passion, heartbreak, and triumph. When you are purple and black, you're not just repping a team. You're repping a city that never backs down, a legacy built on toughness, heart, and relentless drive. From the days of Ray Lewis and Ed Reed to the electric brilliance of Lamar Jackson today, this team has never been about flash. It's been about fight. And now, here we are again, on the edge of something special. The roster is hungry. The defense is tough. The offense is ready to explode. But the most powerful weapon we've got? It's not a